Want to learn about this year's Super Rugby Pacific coaches? Stick around and I'll share insights into what your coach will bring to your team in 2024. Hey everyone, it's Coach H here, and you've found Inspired by Union, a channel where I discuss Southern Hemisphere rugby. Let's dive right in. With Razor departing for All Blacks duty, a new coach will have the opportunity to win a championship in 2024. First and foremost, we'll look at the DNA that your coach brings to your team. Dive deep into what experiences they can use and what challenges they will face in 2024. Mick Byrne, the former AFL player turned skills coach, has been part of some of the most successful teams in history. Taking the reins as head coach, Byrne has tapped into the Endure program from the former entity in the Australian Rugby Championship and built nicely the number of players feeding into the Flying Fijians at national level. His ability to harness proven combinations and a fortress on the islands points to a finals appearance in 24. Attention to detail from his years as a skills coach is part of Byrne's DNA and a prime reason why we've seen the Endure grow year by year under his leadership. The challenge for Byrne will be winning away from home and creating a bunch of happy tourists whilst on the road. Darren Coleman, the New South Welshman, leads the Waratahs in the 150th year of rugby union in New South Wales. Homegrown with success in the Shoot Shield and Major League Rugby, Coleman inherited a side from Rob Penny that had growing pains, but also the bonus of a young crop of players with games under their belt. Coleman's DNA of man management will address his main challenge in terms of consistency and bringing an edge to his pack, ensuring that they will stay in the fight for 80 minutes. In year 3, the bosses at New South Wales Rugby will be tasking Coleman with improvement on the 6th placing in 22 and 23 respectively. Vern Cotter, highly credentialed and experienced, Cotter's DNA of storytelling and building groups through culture is best exemplified by his stints with Clermont and Scotland. The Blues retain a number of starters from 2023, and the franchise will be betting on Cotter unlocking the team from nearly men to kings of the round table. With the Blues crosstown code rivals, the Warriors, building a movement and support, not only wins, but the manner in which they're executed will be pivotal in order to build a following and adding to the faithful. Simon Cron, the Western Force coach, was schooled at New Zealand Rugby Nursery, Christchurch Boys High School. He's the nephew of Scrum Doctor Mike Cron. Simon Cron has put together an impressive resume, starting in the Shoot Shield with Norths, the Sydney Rays in the National Rugby Championship, the Australian Under-20s, assisted the Waratahs before head coach roles at Toyota Verblitz and now the Force. Cron's coaching DNA of elevating those around him from staff through players will help to address the challenge of isolation the Force have faced since inception. For the Perth franchise, the local competition hasn't quite developed to the standard of those on the eastern seaboard, meaning fringe players who are based and playing locally aren't quite ready to go for Super Rugby level. Clark Dermody, arguably the toughest Super Rugby gig in New Zealand, with a small local player group and a lack of resources compared to the other franchises. Dermody will lean on the experience of Jamie Joseph, who's found his way back to the Deep South. Dermody will be challenged by depth throughout the squad across the season, but if the powers that be are patient and have realistic goals to attain, he will be able to build the number of games played across his young cohort, including his graduated high-performance program players. Having plied his trade as a tough as teak front rower, the Southlanders' coaching DNA is built on hard work ethic and an understated yet serious nature. Moulding how a Highlander lives and setting up his young team for sustained success will be a pass mark for the good people of the South. Kevin Foote, a former South African Blitzbokke Sevens international, built his coaching craft through club rugby in Cape Town. He graduated to the professional ranks with the Western Force as a defensive coach and worked alongside and under Dave Wessels at Perth Spirit and also at the Rebels. His coaching DNA of application to detail, which was built on the Seventh Circuit, ensures no stone will be left unturned when he's building his team. His biggest challenge is the financial uncertainty that the Rebels find themselves in, with players only contracted for this year. If he uses this situation right, his biggest challenge could be his biggest opportunity in terms of building a siege mentality among the playing group. Much like the Force, Foote also has to manage his extended squad through a competition that falls below the standard of the Shute Shield and Hospital Cup. Les Kiss, the Queenslander, is the second of our head coaches to begin his career in another sport. The former Origin and Kangaroos player has methodically put together an impressive resume and replaces another outgoing league convert and 50-test All Black, Brad Thorne. Kiss has also spent time coaching under new Wallabies coach Joe Schmidt and will be challenged to get the most out of the talent nursery that is the state of Queensland. Another challenge will be finding success against the Kiwi franchises, a bugbear of the last few seasons where the mental hurdle of dropping opportunities against the New Zealand sides hurt any chances of finals footy. Queensland officials will be betting on Kiss's coaching DNA of clarity in messages and empowering sides to build from a side that's tasted local success against the Aussie franchises. Clark Laidlaw, the former Scottish Sevens international, made coaching inroads as a skills coach with Taranaki before moving to skills and analysis with the men's Sevens team in New Zealand. The All Black Sevens came calling in 2017, and success on the Sevens circuit and an Olympic silver medal position in Tokyo resulted in Laidlaw being on the Hurricanes' radar. He was an assistant coach at the Hurricanes from 2013 through 2015 before moving to London Irish. Laidlaw's coaching DNA as culture coach is best exemplified by the connection he was able to develop in the All Black Sevens through song and marrying cultures. It seems his biggest challenge will be those faced by former Hurricanes coaches chasing consistency. Always stacked with talent and X factor, it's often the fundamentals that let down this flashy side. Stephen Larkham, a Brumbies legend, Larkham was the conductor of the phase play revolution under maestro Rod McQueen after he moved from fullback to 5'8". Larkham has developed as a coach through his stint as an assistant and then head coach at the Brumbies before assisting Checker at the Wallabies. A stint in Ireland with Munster and now back at home, Larkham's coaching DNA is his assured reputation as a communicator. His main challenge will be adding variety to attack and ensuring the side builds enough competition points to ensure a home finals advantage and avoid a knockout game in New Zealand. Clayton McMillan, a coach on the rise in New Zealand, McMillan did a fine job as caretaker coach for the Chiefs in his first season, and the selfless nature of Warren Gatlin, he endorsed McMillan to stay in the top job. A finals loss to perennial winners the Crusaders in 2023 will add plenty of motivation that McMillan can tap into with his further developing side. With a coaching DNA of being an astute tactician and a builder of culture, Macmillan's challenge will be again racking up early wins in order to snare home ground advantage in the finals. Rob Penny. After winning 4 NPC titles with Canterbury during his stint from 2006 to 2011, it seems an age as Penny has watched both Todd Blackadder and Scott Robertson hold the keys to the castle. Penny has been anything but dormant, and stints coaching in Ireland, Japan and Australia lead to a role he has long coveted. The challenge for Penny will be following his former defence coach Razor and establishing his own style whilst retaining success in the Glamour franchise. Teamwork Index is a philosophy that his predecessor swore by, and the small percentage of elevated academy players this season could point to continuity issues in the long term. Penny's coaching DNA is renowned for his no-nonsense approach to his craft and genuine care for those under him. Penny, the player, was uncompromising in a red and black jersey. There is plenty of goodwill shown across the Crusaders franchises with disappointment. Tana Umanga. I'm not sure there's a better appointment of coach to club than the team's appointments we've discussed thus far. Umanga has honed his coaching craft in Toulon with counties and the Blues as a head coach, and showing a total lack of ego as an assistant coach under Leon McDonald. The Hurricanes legend has probably the toughest gig in Super Rugby, whereas other teams aligned to their national bodies, Moana Pacifica, blend a number of nations together. Umanga will rely on his DNA as a culture coach to blend his team together in 24. Identity will be key for this team based in Auckland, where really their spiritual home will be based in the islands. After losing his best player in Levi Moore, Umanga's challenge will be blending the sum of the parts rather than relying on any X factor. Umanga has brought former Blues coach Tom Coventry with him in order to win the battle for parity against the proven packs of the competition. Will Umanga be able to close the gap to the middle tier teams this year? If you're finding these insights helpful, consider smashing that subscribe button and ringing the bell for more insights every week. Remember, this is a brief insight on your coach leading your team in 2024. Please add a comment if you believe your coach will or won't taste success this season and why. I'm Coach H, and you've been watching Inspired by Union.